Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th and final round.
Right hand, Golovkin steps in and down he goes again. Unbelievable. Mayweather makes him pay. What a rookie mistake. A sensational left hook by De La Hoya.
It's fact. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best. I'm going to show you how great I am.
From Southern California, this is the Last Round Podcast.
Welcome to episode 30 of the Last Round Podcast. No Danny Z this week. He's away in New York, but this week I have an upgrade. I've got a fellow Brit, which got me excited. I have a professional boxer, Christian Crowley. So, how's it going, Christian?
How we doing, mate? All right?
You enjoying the California sunshine?
Loving it. Can't get enough of it.
I'm kind of suspicious about Danny Z. You know, he's 6'7", Mexican. He's gone missing. Eddie Hearn's looking for a heavyweight.
That's
so
right.
I am wondering whether he's gone. Actually, he's not told me why he's gone to New York, but
he's on the lookout for Eddie Hearn.
I think so.
Hearn.
Exactly. He's looking for that some of that DAZN money.
That's right. I see his right hand man Frank Smith Venice Beach, but a bit far from New York.
But it's a packed show this week, so we'll jump straight into it. Mm-hmm. So kind of taking it back for you, really, Christian. Yeah. So how did you get into boxing? Is it a family thing?
No, it's not at all. I'm the first one, as far as my family know about, of me being an actual boxer. I'm just a competitive person. My mum always says boxing found me. So me getting into boxing was just a natural course of it, just playing out. I mean, my friend took me down to the boxing gym and we was competitive and we just kept pushing each other on, and sure enough, I found myself turning professional.
Was it Brighton?
Yeah, Brighton, England, yeah.
Is that where Chris Eubank Jr. trains?
Yeah, we're from the same gym. Brighton Hove ABC and Brighton Seafront. Chris boxed there as an amateur, I boxed there as an amateur. Chris is still down there. Actually, he's over this way now, isn't he? He's
up north with Virgil Hunter at the minute.
Yeah, that's right. He's with Virgil Hunter. But yeah, from the same gym as Chris. Good guy.
Any other boxers that we'd know out of that gym that have turned pro?
There's been a few. Lloyd Elliott, but to be honest, I'm not sure you'd know about him. Ben Murphy fought for a British title. He fought Ashley Theopain.
He's doing his world tour. Ashley Theopain,
is he? Yeah, I know.
He's fighting like in as many countries as he can before he retires.
He's going like Russia and
the Hungary, Greece, everywhere.
Crazy. But whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
For our American listeners, Brighton's southeast coast.
Yeah, Brighton. Yeah, Sussex by the Sea, southeast coast. Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to say most of the Americans did know London.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's right. So, I have to explain. It's about an hour's drive to London every time.
So how was the amateur career? What did you finish up?
I had 36 amateur fights. I wasn't like one of these highly decorated amateur boxers. I mean, I've done all right. I boxed in the Haringey Box Cup. Got to the semi-finals with the Nationals. I've done all right, but I started late. I started boxing at 18. So so I never done any schoolboys or juniors or anything like that. It was straight into the seniors. So as you probably know, the amateurs in England, they're all pre-matches. Mm-hmm. So you know you're boxing who you're boxing a month in advance. Whereas here, you just stand up at a show on your whatever weight you are, and then your coach says, then you're boxing. So 36, it's all right. It's a decent amount. I mean, ideally I would have had a bit more, but yeah, it's what it is.
And just explain to us, how did you end up in the US?
My friend, the same one who introduced me to the boxing gym, was actually born in America. Mm-hmm. And he decided one day that he was going to use his dual citizenship and just move over here. So he done that, moved to Orange County. He was boxing and he introduced me to Hector Lopez when I came over to visit him from the TKO gym.
Which is in Santa Ana? That's
right, in Santa Ana. And I came over to visit my friend. And we went to the boxing gym, ended up sparring there, got along with Hector quite well, and we stayed in contact. And then 6 years down the line, I've said to him, can I come out here to do a 3-month camp just to see what it's like, get as much experience as possible? And he asked me whilst I was here, he said, do you want to go pro with us? So I was like, hell yeah, I want to go pro with you, do you know what I mean? And then 2 months later, here I am.
So are you going to try and stay out here now? Are you going to head back after the 3 months?
I mean, I'm actually heading back on Monday on the 29th. But then I'm going to come back out. hopefully got a date in June on another Thompson card. So we're just heading back for that. So I'm going to go back home, say hello to my family and that for a couple of weeks, and I'll be back out.
What were the main differences, do you think, between the amateur and the professional?
It's just very slowed down. It's very slowed down. In the amateurs, it's all about your point scoring and just getting as many punches as you can off straight away.
Not really sitting down on the punches.
Exactly. Now you've got to sit down on your punch. In the program, you've got to sit down on your punches and just work behind your jab, like feint them, see what happens when you flick your jab out, and then working from there. Whereas amateurs, you're not even thinking about what's going to happen if I throw a 1-2 and then step aside. It's just you know.
Yeah.
In the program, you just got to slow it down a little bit more.
You think your style suits that more?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always known that my style would suit the pro game for the minute I started boxing. People have always told me as well. But now it's just transitioning and taking out the habits of an amateur and correcting them as a professional.
What would you say is the main differences in, you know, the professional to the amateur ranks, just kind of like outside of actually being in the ring, you know, the politics, you know, trying to get a fight, a training camp?
I mean, I don't really know too much about it, to be honest with you, but as a boxing fan, we all know about the boxing politics and different promoters and stuff like that, and about the big fights getting made, and being the A side is always key, and fighting away from home isn't ideal, and we all know about that. But to be honest, obviously I've only just got my feet wet, so I couldn't tell you the ins and outs of it just yet. But just as a boxing fan, you know all about the politics, just like when you compare the two top promoters like Golden Boy and Top Rank, and
not fighting each other.
Exactly, yeah.
Different TV contracts. And
exactly, yeah, exactly.
The TKO gym, you have, is it Ronny Rios and Lex, both fighting out there?
Yeah, unbelievable talents. Ronny Rios, he's fighting Friday. Younger brother, Alexis Rocha, fighting Thursday. Eric Atois. There's just some unbelievable talent in there. Even like the little juniors, even the amateur kids, they're real talented kids, and they're just like so committed to the craft. They come from nothing, a lot of them, and you can really sense that in their hunger, the way they approach the sport.
I spent a day with Lee Selby when he came over before he fought Douglas.
Oh right,
in his last fight, and Gavin Gwynn. Gavin Gwynn from both from Wales. And they were saying, I asked them, I was like, why do you always come over here? Because Lee Selby said he's been coming over here for about 10 years for camps, and he was saying that the sparring that you can get out here is just completely different to what you get back home.
Yeah, mate, I've had some unbelievable sparring. For this camp that I had a 9-week camp. Some of the sparring I had was unbelievable. We went over to Riverside. I was sparring Victor Ortiz, Ruben Rodriguez, what's the other one? Louis Correa.
Robert Garcia's gym?
Yeah, Robert Garcia's gym. And then we was down in Legends gym. I was sparring Johnny Gonzalez.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah, unbelievable talent. Yeah. What was the other one? I can't remember. He calls himself the Cow or something in Mexico. I can't remember what his name is. But he's like 20-0. Who's the other one? I was sparring Ruben Torres. Unbelievable talents. Just like they're just everywhere. You don't really see that in England. Like they're very far apart from each other. They don't like.
Oh, they don't want to spar.
Yeah,
because they don't want someone to get the better of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But over here, they're just all in one gym. Like you just walk like I'm just starstruck. Like you only see these guys on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? And then my coach is just like saying hello to all of them. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, he said it's definitely different. He was saying you'd spar with guys, and you know he'd throw a shot and it would drop someone back home. But out here, they're just so tough.
Oh, mate, they just keep coming over here. You can literally throw the sink at them. They could all just keep coming. Like the Mexican style is very prominent here, definitely.
Do you think if you keep coming out here, do you think that'll change your style? Do you think you'll have less of an upright, kind of forward European style?
Yeah, absolutely. Like my coach is always saying to me, like, you need to take this on, like, watch this guy, do this, do that. But that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, some of the things I've seen out here is just unbelievable. Like the talent is just crazy. Not to discredit England, because England has so many great champions as well, but I love the American style, and it's definitely something I'm trying to learn.
That's what you can see about Lee Selby.
Yeah,
when you watch him, he's definitely got more of like an American Mexican style compared to the people back home.
Definitely, he's a real talent, Lee Selby. I'm a massive fan of him. Massive fan of Lee Selby, and his brother as well. Although he's just come off a loss, his brother's a super talent as well.
He should never have lost that though. It was kind of a quick stoppage, and they didn't also say that when he was fighting in Mexico, it was like over 5,000 altitude.
Yeah.
So he turns up, and I don't think he realised that. He was kind of already there and he hadn't acclimatized to it and stuff like that. But he's a great talent. Yeah. He's probably going to be maybe better than Lee.
Massive talent. It's a shame that because he doesn't really get as much exposure as other fighters back home. But he's a great talent.
I don't think because he's probably not signed to one of the big. Like, it's not like Matchroom.
Yeah,
Matchroom or Frank Warren in England. You know they're huge. So like,
Matchroom more so. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Frank's had a good shows though.
Yeah,
he
definitely.
Put some good shows
and some real 50-50 fights as well.
And who gave you the moniker?
Who gave me the moniker?
Yeah, the Irish Mexican.
It just happened naturally. I mean, I'm obviously English, but I'm half Irish, half English. I was raised by my mum. My mum's side is all Irish, so I identify as Irish. I've got an Irish passport. Before Brexit was a thing, I've always had one. But me training in Santa Ana, obviously, I'm probably the only white kid in the area. It's just a very Mexican area. I love it though. But it was just a natural thing. The Irish Mexican. I'm Irish. I'm in a Mexican gym. My style's Mexican, so yeah.
It'll be good though, especially if you keep fighting out here at Thompson's Boxing, which to all the UK fans is like a local promoter.
Yeah.
Kind of like Steve Goodwin maybe back home.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, like a small hall show, but they got some good fighters.
Danny Roman, who's the WBA bantamweight champion who fights Friday. Giovanni Santalin, who owns a WBO kind of international title. He fights out of San Diego. And they've got a deal with DAZN thanks to Danny Roman. So obviously you'll be able to get some exposure on there. Yeah,
definitely. They got some great fighters, and the shows are actually really good as well. Some of the fights they had on just the other night were just some real good fights as well. So it's great to be a part of that.
So you actually had your debut last week at the Double Tree.
That's right, just down the road.
Which I thought you won.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I knew I was hoping to try and get you on, so I actually I watched it on Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, it was a shame that it ended in a draw. I mean, to be honest, I let myself down, really and truly. I mean, I let the occasion get the best of me a little bit, I think. But I mean, it is what it is. We'll go again. We're asking for the rematch in June, so hopefully we get that, and I'll just put it right, and then we can move on. But until then, I'm a bit disappointed.
So what are you going to take from your debut then, just to try to not let the occasion overawe you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, part of me was sat there like almost as a fan, because we're going through all the motions, like talking to the commission, like drug testing and all this, and I'm sat there like, this is unbelievable. But my mindset should have been, right, we're gonna fight now. Do you know what I mean? But I was sort of taking it in. I was like, oh, this is great, this is really cool. But really, I should have just been fight mode. And then it is what it is. It is what it is. I let myself down, really and truly. But I mean, it was a good fight either way. It was a really good fight, and I had amazing support as well. You would never have thought I was fighting away from home.
I think the nickname helps. When people, come out with the Irish Mexican, people are just going to draw to you straight away. Especially Southern California, it's mainly Hispanic, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've said before, like we've gone into gyms, and obviously me, white boy, long hair, I go into these gyms and they look at me like, what are you doing? Who's this kid? Like, and then we get in there and I do my rounds after. And then after they all shake my hand after, and they're like, oh, what's going on, man? Like, act like they was all right with me 5 minutes before them. But yeah, it is what it is.
So for people that haven't seen your style, how would you describe it? How would you break it down? I'm
a box puncher. I'm just I come forward. I enjoy to have a fight. Really, I need to just tone that down a little bit, because I'm a great boxer as well. I've got great speed. I'd say a box puncher is my style.
Any fighters growing up that you kind of modelled your style on?
Ricky Hatton was my favourite boxer all the way through. On your T-shirt as well, Robert Duran. He was unbelievable. But yeah, Ricky Hatton was really my standout fighter. I loved him. I loved his support. I loved just the way he boxed. He was ferocious. He just kept coming, and he'd break opponents' hearts before he'd break them. If you know what I mean, even. But yeah.
So what are going to be your goals for 2019, 2020?
Just be active. Do what I've learned in the gym, rather than just let the occasion get the best of me. Just be active, be smart, and really just develop and grow as a boxer. I've still got a long way to go, and really I need to just show that and be active, and so I can continue to learn.
So being a professional boxer, we had some big news this week. What's your thoughts on Jerome Miller testing positive?
It's a shame, really, for the sport. I mean, Joshua's not really as much of a name over here as he is back home, but he gets so much media attention, and then for someone like him, for his opponent to then post positive what was he even taking, like EPO?
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, like what wasn't what wasn't he taking? And then it's just like, it's a real shame for boxing, to be honest, because it's a massive platform that he was boxing on, and then he's really let himself down. He plus not even just that, he would have got something like a $6 million payday or something. And then, yeah, it's a real shame. It's a real shame, but it's good for all these other heavyweights that are up and coming, because I'm sure they'll be trying to get their name in the mix.
Yeah, it's looking like Andy Ruiz, who we had on last week, he seems to have been installed as the number one, and then Michael Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I see that Andy Ruiz in that Legends gym. He's a real cool guy. He's real, like...
He's good.
Yeah.
For somebody his size, he's got fast hands.
He wants to be the first Mexican heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he was on the show last week. So he actually told us, we got him on, and that was the day that it got revealed, and he told us that 30 minutes before he came on the show, he'd actually messaged Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, we was listening in the car. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, we was listening. I like him. He's a cool guy as well. He's really like laid back. He's just like so chilled. Like in the gym, he's got like 3 or 4 of his mates there with him, just like...
He's a happy, smiley, good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's just a real cool guy. You want him to do well. Do you know what I mean?
I thought he actually beat Joseph Parker, but obviously, he fought over in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And you probably,
Politics.
2 or 3 cards down, rounds down, before you even start when you're fighting, in somebody's backyard. But
For sure. But no, he's a cool guy. I wish him all the best as well. I mean, we'll see if he gets it. I mean, someone was telling me Klitschko's going to get the shot again. But yeah, I doubt that.
He's coming back. So they say DAZN offered him some big money to come back out of retirement, but I don't know, we'll wait and see. But Christian's said he's going to stay on and help me go through the reviews of last week. So
yeah, absolutely.
Last week, Saturday the 20th, MSG New York on ESPN pay-per-view, we had Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
TKO over Amir Khan for the WBO World Welterweight title. Testicle knockout, TKO.
Yeah. The first time I heard that one. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird situation, really. I mean, did you see the press conference after?
Yeah, where Khan's talking, and then he just kind of jumps in and says, like, just a minute, you quit.
Yeah, he goes,
you quit.
He goes, so you saying you didn't quit? Like that.
It was kind of strange, because you could see that kind of Amir was looking at Virgil, and Virgil was looking at Amir, and he was kind of like, he was looking at him like a little puppy dog, like kind of like save me.
Yeah.
Because he knows that the cameras are on him, and I was kind of telling you before the show, I met Amir Khan last year before he fought Vargas. I spent the day at the gym with him, and he is a really nice guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know whether he just got old in the ring, because you could see some of the fundamental flaws that he's had over his career are still there. They're not being drilled out of him. Like, he'll throw punches and he'll jump in.
Exactly. We saw it when he fought in England, and I can't remember that guy's name, but he had a real tough fight, and it was almost like it was supposed to be his coming home party sort of thing.
I think that was the Vargas one.
Yeah, it was the Vargas one.
Dropped him.
Of course it was, yeah. And it was like, like what's going on here? Is Khan back or not? But to be honest, I don't really blame him for having a shot at the big names. He's always got that Brook fight there for him back in England when he wants it, really. So I don't blame him. But like you said, there's that saying in boxing, you get old overnight, and I think that might have happened to him. But then again, Crawford, arguably one of the best in the game.
That first knockdown, when you slow it down, kind of like Khan comes in and he just steps to the side, just clocks him, real short and sharp, and then Khan's legs, as usual, turn to jelly. Yeah. And he's all over the ring.
Yeah.
I kind of feel for him. I don't know whether they're going to give him, like Crawler, I don't know whether they're going to give them both another fight in Bolton and Manchester.
Yeah.
But is it worth it? Like, he wants to see it now. He goes and fights like another Phil Greco, gets a first round knockout, gets a payday.
Exactly.
Kind of stealing money from the fans.
Fans are sort of getting bored of this kind of facade as well. Like, fans want to see like the big fights, the meaningful fights. Like Brook Khan, I mean, that makes sense. Everyone wants to see that. I mean, even if it is 3 years too late, but still, we don't, like you said, we don't want to see another little Phil Greco situation. Like you just touched on the big fights. So, do you think we'll see Terence Crawford, Errol Spence? Hopefully, again, politics. I mean, Mayweather Pacquiao can get made, any fight can get made, but I don't know.
Like Bob Arum, that week when he was on Steve Kim's podcast, he was kind of saying, Terence Crawford gets the win. I'm going to call Al Heyman the next morning. Let's get it made. Like you just touched on, they can make Manny and Floyd.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, that sounds good.
Right.
And then he gets to the fight, and afterwards he starts, Al Heyman's a scam artist. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to work too well if you call him a scam artist.
It's going to push it away, but I think it will get made. I think the demand is there. To be honest, people were talking about that fight. Even when Mikey was fighting Spence, people were talking about that fight. So I think it's got to happen just by public demand.
I hope so, because Terence Crawford, if he stays within Top Rank, he hasn't really got anybody to fight apart from those kind of Eastern European welterweights that they have, Kuvalauskis, and whereas the PBC, they've got a mainly welterweight, so they could just keep rotating them round.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Johnny Garcia, stuff like that. So, but like you say, they're just the second and third fights behind the big one that everybody wants. But Errol Spence is kind of the cash cow for them. Terence Crawford's the cash cow for them.
Exactly.
Do they want to put them together? So hopefully they do. But
I'm hoping so as well. I'm really hoping so. But we'll see. We'll see.
The takeover, Teofimo Lopez, he moved to 13-0 with a 5th round knockout over Edis Tatley.
Yeah. I'm a fan of. I mean, I'm a big fan. I can't lie. He's a great talent, and he backs it up as well. Some people really don't like him though. From what I'm hearing,
I think just because he's a little bit brash. But I've spoken to him. He was at the fight last week that I was at, and I was talking to him, trying to get him on the podcast in the future. And he's a nice guy. I think a lot of it's just kind of when the cameras are on, he turns it on.
He's got to then put it out there.
Yeah, and then he's kind of like, him and his dad are kind of like Danny Garcia, Angel Garcia, where his dad just there and he's saying all the controversial things. He's really in your face like Angel Garcia. So,
no, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's had a good couple of wins now, and I think he's really going to start pushing on. But I've heard that he doesn't make the weight very well.
No, he was, and then it came out afterwards that he only trained for like 10 days. Because I think him and his family have had a little issues. He's getting married and his parents are saying it's too quick, and he's been over in New York instead of being in Las Vegas fighting. Really? So it's causing a bit of tension between the camp. But 10 days and he still won by knockout. So
yeah, I mean, how much of that do you choose to believe though? That's the thing. I mean, they always put these stories out after and stuff, and it's really how much you choose to believe, in my opinion.
But I'm hoping that he gets. They're talking about Luke Campbell fighting Lomachenko.
I'm a big fan of Luke Campbell. Again, Lomachenko is a bit of a fight where it's like you don't really want to take it.
Yeah, because look what he did to Crowley.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, as a fighter, you want to fight anyone, but looking from the outside, you wouldn't really give Luke Campbell the chance, would you? But I mean, he's a super talent in himself. I'm a massive fan of Luke Campbell. But again, that fight's probably not the right one for him. You're going to get a big payday, but what do you do after?
Because then that will free up Richard Comney to fight Teofimo Lopez, which will give him the IBF title if he beats him. Yeah. And then at the start of next year, they're talking Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, if Teofimo can still make the weight, and that'll be for all of the championships.
Yeah, I mean, did you see him on the scale, Lopez?
He looks big.
He looks huge, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So did his opponent, to be fair, but Lopez, it doesn't look like he makes it comfortably. I don't think he'll stay at that weight for much longer, to be honest with you.
No, because he even said in the recent interview that he doesn't know how long he can make it. Like he said he doesn't even know if he can make it by July. Yeah, he says his body's just not giving him it anymore. It's not letting him take off those last few pounds.
Yeah, he didn't look healthy, in my opinion. I mean, his performance was great, but he didn't look healthy on the scale, so I can't imagine him staying there for too long.
He always steals the show for me. Yeah. He always gets those kind of crazy knockouts, whether it's a one-punch knockout.
And it's the celebrations as well after. Yeah.
He knows what to do. He's kind of like the whole package. He does it in the ring. He talks pretty well. And then he does those Fortnite dances and the flips and stuff like that.
I think fighters now, like in this current climate, I think fighters are understanding this a bit more, that they have to put themselves out there. It's not just your fighting, which is going to get you the superstar sort of status. I think you got to be that character before, after, during, you know? You got to really sort of soak it up and put it out.
So you got to be like the hero or the villain.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
One or the other. Exactly. It's like after the Floyd Mayweather saga, it's like everyone's noticing now, like, oh, okay, I've got to do this before my fight. I've got to do this after my fight. I've got to call out this guy. I've got to do this in the ring.
So which path are you taking? Are you taking the light side or the dark side?
It's not in my nature to play the villain. I think. I think I'd struggle. I think I'd come out playing the bad guy, and it would just all come unwind in the wrong light. I don't think that's for me.
Are you going to be like Mexican Joe Joyce and come out with a Mexican hat and the flag?
Do you know what? We was trying to get a sombrero from our fight, but we couldn't get one. It was too short notice, and it was like I really wanted to come out for one, and also the DJ missed it up because I was supposed to come out to a mariachi song. But it was meant to be 30 seconds of mariachi and then Old Dirty Town by the Pogues. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously like an Irish band. So we was trying to do like, obviously the Mexican-Irish thing, but it didn't come out right. And I was thinking in the back of my head, like, oh, they messed this up. And then obviously we was supposed to have the sombrero as well, but never mind, next time.
And then on the same card, we had Shakur Stevenson moved to 11-0, unanimous decision over Christopher Diaz, who was now 24-2. Mm-hmm. That was a good performance.
That was a great win for him.
That was a huge step up because even Bob Arum said beforehand that he told Shakur, you don't I don't really want you to take that.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw, I was watching the weigh-ins as well, whilst I was waiting for my fight, in the hotel room, and they were talking, like, Andre Ward's obviously very close with Shakur, and he was saying, like, this is a bit too soon for him. But I think he looked great. It was, people didn't have, he got some negative feedback from the performance. It was boring and stuff, but I thought he looked great, and that's a big win for him as well. That guy had just come off from a world title loss at the weight above. So that was a great fight for him.
I did wonder whether mentally he was going to be there, because of, obviously, just before the fight, the video came out of him and his friends having that fight in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's not a good look for him. I don't know what that's all about. I think as a young fighter, obviously you're going to have a lot of people hanging around you, and sort of, I'm sure he's basically halfway there, isn't he, in terms of superstardom. So he's going to have loads of young people latching onto him. I think he needs to have a good look at his circle and think, who am I knocking about with, who am I hanging around with, and start eliminating a few of them, because that was not a good look for him.
No, I think he needs to kind of change his style as well. You know, he's got a very safety first style, kind of like the older version of Floyd Mayweather, where he just knows that he can use his skills, stay on the back foot, and kind of, you know, pick the points and win the fight. Yeah. But if he's going to get those big fights, and, you know, people, at the end of the day, it's you're paid for how many people want to see you, how many tickets you'll sell, how many people are going to buy that pay-per-view. So sometimes I think he just needs to kind of go for the kill a little bit, you know, and take people out. Maybe not in that fight, because Diaz, you know, we both touched on, was kind of, I assume, going to be levels above. And I thought he was maybe a step too far too quickly. Yeah. But yeah, he made Diaz look kind of amateurish, really.
Yeah, for sure. I think he looked great. To be honest, I'm a fan of Shakur. I think he's doing the right things in terms of the boxing. Like you said, you can say it is a bit defense first, but the main thing is he won, and, you know, that's a good name on his record. When it's all said and done, you look back on the box record, that's a W next to the name. So
he's moved quick. 11 fights, and he's already fighting, you know, someone who had 26 fights and ex-world championship fights.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's doing the right thing.
What's next for him? Who's he going to box next?
I don't know, really. I don't know whether they're going to, because if they keep going that quickly, he's going to be a world title contender. You know? I don't know. I like to see him kind of, you know, just have maybe another 1 or 2 fights, you know, start kind of mixing it up, get somebody that's going to rough him up a little bit to see how he handles that. Maybe get him in with a few slick southpaws, just so he gets to see a little bit of everything. Yeah, before, because once he steps up to that world title level, then you're there. Then you can't go back down.
Yeah, exactly. You're there.
That was the problem with someone like Jaime Munguia when he got his title. He picked up that title, and then, you know, he fought. I forgot his name. The Irish guy. Hogan. Yeah. And Hogan destroyed him. Picked him up from the outside, and I had him winning that fight, you know. And you could see that Munguia, it was too quick for him.
Yeah, I felt for Hogan. He was gutted. He was really gutted.
Because he's not going to get the rematch.
Nah,
they're not going to agree to that.
Nah, Munguia's massive as well. He's huge. Like, I can't remember what fight it was. I don't know what he came in on the night when he fought Hogan, but I think it was his fight before he came in, something like
when he fought Liam Smith.
Yeah. No. It wasn't Liam Smith. It was another guy. He came in saying like, oh no, was it Liam Smith? I don't know. He came in saying like 25 pound over on the night. What he was.
It's huge.
Fight limit. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
But moving on from there to the Dignity Health Sports Park, the old StubHub, we have Danny Garcia, 35-2 with a KO7 over Adrian Granados, 27-2 for the vacant WBC silver welterweight title. Granados down in round 2, once in round 5. That was a good performance.
Great performance. Me and my coach watched that, and I wasn't too sure about Danny Garcia because we've seen him in previous performances looking a bit lackluster. But that was a great performance from him the other night. He looked like he's back to old ways now. Yeah,
because I remember on the podcast last week, I kind of touched on how much did Danny Garcia really want it, because he's one of those fighters that when he looks like he's in the mood, he's got it. Granados, style-wise, was kind of made for him because then I guess he's kind of a little bit flat-footed and he's always looking for that left hook. Yeah. And Granados is your kind of
But you've seen him with Porter, though. He gave a man a tough fight, you know?
Yeah, that was probably up there. It was Danny's one of his best performances, really.
Yeah. I thought Danny looked great, to be fair. I mean, he's never been stopped, that guy. And he just manhandled him from start to finish, you know?
He's had some tough outings, Granados. Yeah. If you look at his resume, he's fought like a who's who. Like I'm not too sure that his manager likes him. Yeah. You know what I mean? He just throws him in with all these big guys, you know, stuff like that. But it was a good stoppage, and it was kind of hard to watch near the end. Yeah, I agree. If I was his corner, I was kind of, dude, let him live to fight another day. I know some people want to go out on the shield, but the boxer's not going to quit, but sometimes you have to save him.
Yeah, step in for him.
Yeah, all the referee just kind of be like, dude, these shots are going to be everlasting, once you retire.
After he dropped him, you just thought there's no way back for him.
No.
Like, there was never a moment in the fight after that where you thought to yourself, oh, maybe he might just bring it back. Like, he just was getting dominated. So I agree with you. I think it should have been stopped a lot sooner. But no, the ref, it was a good stoppage, but like you said, the corner should have called it a bit sooner.
Yeah, everyone was on Twitter like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
just stop this. We kind of know who's won now.
Yeah, exactly. But it was almost like a coming out party for Garcia, wasn't it? He was sort of like,
I'm back.
Yeah, and he said it as soon as he won, he jumped back on the ropes and was like, I'm back.
See, I think that would be a good fight for Manny Pacquiao. Because Pacquiao's feet and Danny Garcia's lack of feet.
Yeah.
And, if Manny's combination punching and stuff like that, Danny's always looking for that hook. I think it would be a good matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Manny with his age, you don't want him in there with any like young lions. Get him in with some of the dudes who are a little bit older, like your Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, even maybe like a Keith Thurman.
Yeah,
he's only going to want those big paydays. You don't really want him in with, somebody that's going to move around.
Yeah, and just not be there to win.
Yeah, that's kind of why they chose Jeff Horn, but obviously that didn't work too well for him.
Nah. I watched there's a documentary on Netflix about Manny Pacquiao called Kid Calafu or something like that. Have you seen it?
No.
It's really good. It shows like when Manny Pacquiao was a little kid and how he got into boxing. It's a good watch. Definitely a good watch.
Was that on the UK Netflix?
I don't know because I haven't got a TV out. It was on my iPad. It's my girlfriend's Netflix.
If anyone wants to send any donations of TVs, just DM me on Twitter.
Yeah. No, I think it was the UK Netflix. To be fair, Kid Calafu, that was what it was called. No, it's a really good watch. So I'd recommend it if you can get 5 minutes or whatever.
I do like to watch the old documentaries. Like Johnny Tapia's a good one.
Yeah, Johnny Tapia, unbelievable.
Yeah,
crazy story.
Oh yeah, definitely
crazy story.
But moving on to fight previews. So Friday the 26th from the Forum Inglewood, it's going to be on DAZN. We have Rung Visao, 47-4-1 against Juan Francisco Estrada, 38-3 for the WBC World Super Flyweight title.
Yeah,
this was it last year's contender for Fight of the Year?
Yeah,
this is going to be the rematch.
The two guys are crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight because they both start. Obviously these lighter weights, they throw a lot more punches.
Yeah, they're just so active, just non-stop. Like I was at the open workout earlier down on Venice Beach, and the problem is with these little guys, no one really knows who they are. To tell you the truth, they don't get half as much as hype. But great fighters, and I'm sure Friday's going to be even better.
I think both of those probably, if you made a top 20 pound for pound, I think they'd both be in there. Rung Visao came out of nowhere when he beat Chocolatito.
Yeah.
He was unbeaten, trying to go for Mayweather's record for the unbeaten fights. Beat him, and then they rematched, and then he beat him convincingly the second time.
Yeah.
Knocked him out. But that's going to be a good fight. I'm going to be at it. I think Rung Visao will probably take it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Estrada is just going to have to up his game, just throw so many punches.
I mean, I can't really call it. I mean, the first one was really good. I mean, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't know a lot about either of them.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Not that you don't know them, but you can't pick a winner.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you want. You don't want to be sat there and you're going to say like, oh, Rung Visao's going to kill him.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's a real 50-50 fight.
And then another local guy, Danny Roman, 26-2-1 against TJ Doheny, 21-0 for the IBF and WBA Super Bantamweight titles.
Yep.
That's a good co-main.
For sure. That's going to be a really good fight. I walked past TJ earlier. He's looking real skinny in the face.
It should be a good fight. I think the matchups is good. Danny Roman's kind of kept that amateur style going into the pros. Yeah. A lot of body work.
I like his style.
Yeah, it's good. He fights at Maywood.
Yeah. I like his style. I haven't seen him. I thought I might have bumped into him at Legends Gym, but I never see him.
He's very quiet.
Yeah, I've heard. But babyface assassin, that's what he calls
himself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I like his style. I think, to be honest, I should obviously, be siding with the Irishman, but I think Danny's going to take it, to be fair.
Yeah, I think Danny might just be too good. Every time he stepped up, and even though I've met him, I kind of like, when he fought McDonnell, I was kind of like, I don't know what this is going to be like. McDonnell's going to use his attributes. He's tall for the weight. Yeah. His height and his reach. For the weight. And Danny Roman always used to go for the body, so I was thinking, is he going to be able to get in?
Yeah.
But every time he stepped up to that level, he's met it.
Yeah.
And won.
And fighters like that, you should never doubt.
Josh Warrington.
Exactly.
When he stepped up and fought Carl Frampton and all those guys, I was like, he's going to get smoked.
Yeah, same. That's what I thought. And then Selby as well. Selby, I was massively shocked by it. And then he'd went and done it to Frampton as well. It was like, okay.
So I'm not going to back against him. I think Danny Roman, I think he's going to step up again, and I think he'll do it.
I agree. And
then I think that after that, we're looking for either, the winner of maybe the Ray Vargas, or who is it, the Emmanuel Navarrete, who fights Dogbay. So that should be good. Hopefully he can try and unify those titles.
Yeah.
And then another local fighter. Did you see him down there? Anthony Sims Jr., 18-0.
No, I didn't actually see him at the workout. I've seen a lot of him on social media and stuff. He's really building a following in England.
Yeah, he's a good interview. I had him on here before he kind of took off.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's cool. He's really chilled out.
I watched his iFilm London interview, and it's quite emotional. But he's got a really good story as well. I like him. He's super talented.
Having Floyd Mayweather as his cousin, and kind of going out there with nothing. His kind of mum pushed him out there to Vegas.
Yeah, he's got a really, really good story. I think all the best fighters do, to be fair. But
so he's on that card. He's fighting Devon Alexander's brother, Vaughn Alexander. That should be a good showcase for Anthony Sims Jr.
Yeah,
I think he should win that fight, kind of picking out people for him to look good against.
Yeah,
I think eventually just get him some more fights, and then he'll probably pick up some kind of world title later down the line, especially with the following he's got. I think they'll try and protect him.
Yeah.
Saturday, we've got a big fight. Robert Easter Jr., 21-1 against Rancis Bartholomew, 27-1 for the vacant IBO and WBA lightweight titles. Your division?
I know. To be fair, I'm going to pick Easter for that one. Again, it comes down to attributes for me. I think he's just got the height, got the reach, and he's super, he just wants it bad. If you look at him and watch him properly, I was watching him and Garcia's fight, and he was always in that fight for me. So I'm picking him for Saturday.
I agree. I think Robert Easter will take it. I think it's hopefully going to be a good fight, but the Rancis Bartholomew, his style, he just absolutely stinks the place out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun to watch.
He's just that Cuban kind of negates what you can do and then just tries to win just every single round instead of convincingly winning it.
Yeah, he's just boring. You don't really want to see that, do we?
No, that's the problem. But I'm hoping that his fight against Easter, I'm hoping Easter would, make it into a fight. Yeah, he'll have to do something to make it into a fight. Because Easter hasn't really had too many KOs over his career. Bartholomew started off his career with a few KOs and then eventually just kind of, as the competition got better, just a lot of decisions. But for 2 world titles, I'm hoping they both go for it. I think Easter will probably take that.
Easter for me, for that one, definitely.
And then moving on to the last card of the weekend from the Cajun Dome, Lafayette, Louisiana, we have the World Boxing Super Series is back. Regis Prograis, 23-0 against Carol Relic, 23-2, WBA and super lightweight title is on the line. The winner will face the winner of Josh Taylor and Ivan Barenchek, who fight May the 18th in Glasgow, Scotland.
Yeah. Well, who have you got winning the series?
See, I think I want Prograis to win this, and I want him to face Josh Taylor.
Josh Taylor, yeah,
and then being a Brit, I want Josh Taylor to win.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I like Prograis. He kind of is the style of Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
The way that he throws, heavy-handed.
Very calm as well. He's very poised in there. He doesn't look... Because
when he fought Flanagan...
Yeah.
That was when I saw it. I was like, you know what? He's actually a lot calmer than I expected because I thought he was just going to go in there and go for it. But he kind of gave Flanagan a little bit of respect and kind of picked him off and waited for Flanagan. And then after a while, he kind of showed how one-dimensional Flanagan was.
And Flanagan's got that style where it's just in and out. It sort of makes you twitch, do you know? And just watching him from a screen, it makes you twitch. What's he going to do next? And then Prograis was just in front of him, just not unbothered, just didn't care. And then we saw what happened to him.
So I would like it to be Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor in the final.
Yeah.
And then
who have you got winning that? Taylor?
It's a big step up, but I think Taylor, because I'm thinking that just his boxing IQ seems so good. And I'm thinking that he probably won't fall for some of the tricks and traps that Regis Prograis throws.
Super talent for me.
Yeah, he is. I'm just hoping that he stays away from the drink and stuff like that. Because, when he wins the fights and he looks at his opponent, he's like, hey, you want to go for a beer afterwards?
Yeah,
like, come on, dude, don't turn into Ricky Hatton.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I don't know whether he just has one beer. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard, he's very dedicated. He was on the Team GB squad as an amateur as well. So I think,
he was not the top talent. Nah, since turning pro,
he wasn't even the selector.
He'd left those guys behind.
Yeah, he's the man right now for me, and he's exciting to watch. He's not one of those who just wins. He wins in dominating fashion. He beat what's his name,
Postal.
he beat him. But when he beat Mahara Davies, he's following in England just when skyrocketed, you know.
Anyone who beats O'Hara is going to get it. He's got love or hate, isn't he? O'Hara Davis.
Yeah.
Then on the same card, the other section of the World Boxing Super Series, Nonito Donaire, 39-5 against Zolani Tete, 28-3 for the WBA and WBO bantamweight titles. The winner will face the winner of Inoue against Emmanuel Rodriguez, who also fights May the 18th in Glasgow.
Good couple of fights there. I saw that Rodriguez is probably my favourite in the whole thing. I mean, I don't think he's going to beat what's his name, but I saw him box Paul Butler.
Smoked him.
Yeah, and he was just unbelievable. Like, some of the things he was doing was just great. Like, technically, just unbelievable talent. But I don't think he's going to be the one who beats him.
I think Donaire might sneak past Tete, but then I don't want Donaire to get. He seems like such a nice guy, and I think in no way the monster would just kill him.
Yeah, that guy is scary. Like,
I think he'll end up winning that side. I think he'll end up winning the WBSS bantamweight title.
Yeah,
the Muhammad Ali trophy. But
yeah.
I think Donaire in Inoue in the final, and I think Inoue will probably take it. I think Donaire just he'll come of age in that fight. You know, he'll be a little step too far.
What's the name of the Irish guy who lost to Donaire? What's his name?
Bennett,
yeah.
He got injured.
He was super unlucky. I would have touted him for the final.
Yeah, he had a good chance because obviously he going in, he was one of the favourites, and then he just had that injury. I don't know whether it was making weight and his muscles cramped, or because it was just
freaky,
random,
wasn't it? It was just like, what's just happened there? Like, I know. I like Tete though. I'm a fan of Tete, but I think
the English fans know him from. He's been on a lot of cards. Back home.
Frank Warren signed him, didn't he? Yeah, so he's been on all the Frank Warren shows. But I think you're right. I think I can't say the guy's name. Inoue, yeah. I think he's definitely gonna be the winner of that tournament.
Well, that was kind of a quick show today. Anything you want to shout out, Christian? Any of your social media handles, your Twitter, your Instagram?
Follow me on Instagram, Chris Crowley 14. That's about it. That's the only thing I'm really active on, to be fair.
And you hope to be back out July?
June. On the Thompson show, we're asking for the rematch. My coach doesn't think they're going to take it, but
is that going to be the DoubleTree again in Ontario?
Yeah, that's right.
I'll try and get down to that.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be good to see you there.
But everyone, thank you for listening. Same as usual, if you see us on Instagram or Twitter, you can DM us anything you want to know, any questions. We're going to be at the fights on Thursday at Fantasy Springs. We'll be at the fights on Friday at the Forum.
Yep. 2 of my teammates boxing.
There you go. Alexis, Ronny and Lex.
And then Ronny on a Friday, yeah.
Well, thank you for everything this week. And this is the last round.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting and listening to the show. Follow us at The Last Round 12 on social media. Rate, review, and subscribe. This is the Last Round Podcast.